Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so today we're going to talk about my favorite foundations, my top 3 for oily skin. I use one of these 3 foundations every time I get ready. I have tried so many different products to try to keep the oil under control, and it really does have a lot to do with how much water you have. Like, if your skin is dehydrated, your body is going to tell the skin to overproduce oil to compensate for the dehydrated skin. So if you drink a lot of water, it will keep your skin nice and plump, and the body will say, hey, you don't have to produce as much oil because your skin is nice and plump. So it does matter how much water you're drinking or how much salt you're eating, because that can change the amount of oil that you have, plus what kind of food you eat too. So if you eat a lot of greasy food, you're going to produce more oil. It's just going to be grease trying to come out from somewhere. So that makes a difference too. But we're going to talk about the 3 foundations that you can wear to cover up this acne and let it not come through the day. Okay, so if you want to find out what 3 they are, then just keep watching. Okay, so my first one that I'm going to start with is the Estee Lauder Double Wear. I used this in my first ever video in August of 2015 for my foundation routine for acne. That has not changed. The color has changed, but the foundation is still probably my number one. Out of the 3, I like this one because if my bumps get too out of hand, this covers them better. So that's like, the coverage is medium to full. This, I usually put 1 layer on, and then in the places that I have red bumps, I'll put like just another layer right on those areas. And what I do is I put my foundation, I pump it out on the Real Technique sponge, and then I just tap it into my skin. I start on the cheek and I just tap it in, and then I'll come over here, tap all that, and then whatever's left on here, I'll go ahead and just go like this right there, my T-zone. And so that's how I kind of cover my face. I work from the cheek because that's where my blemishes are, and work myself into the center of the face. And I like the Real Technique sponge for this because it's got that flat surface on it, which makes it nice and easy to blend it in. And it does suck up a little extra product. So if you put too much, you're not going to get too cakey, because this is going to kind of suck up what you don't need. So that's why I like that sponge. Don't forget to put it under the water and squeeze it a few times, and then use a paper towel and just kind of blot it off. So you don't want to go in dry with these, because then it just kind of sits on top of the skin rather than melting it into the skin. So that's my first one. This one has a great shade range. It has they have warms, neutrals, and cools, and I am in 1N2 Ecru. That's my shade right now. I do use 3C2 Pebble when I'm super, super tan, but this one seems to be matching. This is the one I'm wearing today, and I think it's a great color match for me. So that one is probably my number 1 for acne coverage and oil control. Okay, so my second favorite would have to be the Smashbox Studio Skin. This is a 15-hour wear hydrating foundation. It is $42. It does have a little SPF in it. It's not enough to do anything, and I don't think it's enough to flash back on you. I'm in the shade 1.2. This is a yellow base foundation, or this shade is 1.2, but they do have some for a pink tone or a peach tone, so they do have a good shade range on this one too. They do brand it as a waterproof foundation, and the things that I like about this is I get a great coverage from it. Maybe not as full coverage as the Estee Lauder, but I like the fact that I do kind of glow through this one. I don't know if it's because it's hydrating or what, but sometimes I'll look in the mirror and at work, like as I'm passing by, and I'll think I'm oily, and I'll go like this, and it won't be any oil there. It'll just feel matte. So I think this one makes me glow more than it does make, it's not oil coming through. So I really like that because it makes my skin feel really fresh and hydrated, and I have to wear it for long periods of time because I'm a nurse. I work 13 hours a day, so it's got to really last. You know, that's a long time for a foundation to last. So that one I apply with the Tarte Angled Kabuki brush. It's dirty because I used it for work yesterday. And so that one, I like the angle of this, and I just pack that into the skin as well. I don't drag my brush across my skin like going like this, because if you have acne, it's not going to cover it properly. So you do have to do a little bit more blending if you have acne, because you have to tap it in, and then you have to tap it and tap it and tap it to finally make it go smooth. This one, I'd probably have to say I use this one the most, because the Estee Lauder, I don't want full coverage all the time, and this one covers me enough that I can wear it and you don't see blemishes through it. So I really, really like that one. Okay, my third, and these are really not in order. I can't say that I have a favorite. These are my top three. So they equally have a place in my heart. But the third one is the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. And I'm in the shade Porcelain. This is, I think, no, they came out with some more. They came out with some lighter shades. I think Porcelain used to be the lightest shade, but it's not anymore. This one is $39. It's an undetectable medium to full coverage foundation. It's oil free, and they have 18 shades now. That's right, 18 shades. So they've got something for everybody. I really like that about my three top picks, because I don't it's hard for people like who are super pale to find a yellow base foundation, because most of the time when you're super pale they want to give you pink foundations. So I don't like pink foundations at all, and I really would rather it be a yellow base, maybe a little bit lighter color, and that works better for me, because pink foundations make my blemishes look horrible. I just don't like it. So I stick with the Porcelain shade on this one, and it's they all run about the same price. I mean, one's $39.50, one's $39, one's $42. The Too Faced Born This Way, I also applied this one with a brush. I really like the Tarte brush. I have the Sigma flat top kabuki, and then I also have the buffer brush from Morphe. Neither one of those work as good as this. I like this one for, I don't know, it just kind of, the brushes, it kind of flares out, the bristles do, and it's not like as dense. It like wants to move with your skin, and I like that. So that's the brush that I use for the Smashbox and the Too Faced. But I do like the sponge for the double wear, just because it's so thick, and I like to place that where I want it. I don't want to use a brush for that, because I feel like it's going to start getting cakey and streaky. So that is my top three foundations. I use different setting powders for these foundations, but for my under eye, I like to use the MAC Prep and Prime Transparent Finishing Powder. This powder is very lightweight, and I put it all in my T-zone. Sometimes I'll take the beauty blender or the Real Technique sponge, and I'll push it, like the product, into my T-zone. And so that's how I set my T-zone to keep myself from getting oily. When I'm in a hurry, which is every day for work, I will take the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores pressed powder in the translucent color. So I'll use that, and then I'll take this flat little sponge and I'll push that under my eye, because that's easier to get out than this like loose powder. So I will use that when I'm in a hurry, which is every single day at 6 o'clock in the morning. So, but if I've got my, yeah, I can take my time and I really want like a nice flawless face like today, I used the MAC Prep and Prime Transparent Finishing Powder. And then to set the rest of my face, I use the Hello Flawless by Benefit. This powder, I use the color Petal. I think it's one step up from the lightest color. The lightest color made me look a little bit too white, but this looks a little bit darker than my skin, but It's really not. I mean, I have it on right now. So I think it made my skin look it what it basically does is after I have the foundation on, just in case I like miss a streak or something happens, I'll take that powder and just kind of tap it all over my face, and so that I don't really drag it. I'll just tap it like that, and then so that I'll put the powder on and then tap it in, and that helps keep me matte as well. There's a lot of setting sprays on the market, and I want to like this one, and I still use it because I paid for it. But I use the Urban Decay All Nighter, and then I use the D Chill, like the one for oily skin. And I swear, it feels like everything lifts up with that stuff. So if you have any suggestions, I watched somebody today, maybe like somebody that does oily skin stuff too, and she recommended the Gerard Cosmetics Slay All Day setting spray. I'm gonna buy that probably today and see if that makes a difference. But a setting spray really does help when you're putting a lot of foundation and then powder on top of it. You want something to lay that powder down and kind of melt it into the foundation. So I'm gonna try that too. But that is my routine for oily skin. It I don't have a drugstore one in here, and I know people probably are gonna hate it, but I really do not like drugstore foundations. I will use them. I will try them out for you guys, but I will probably never say that a drugstore foundation is better than a high-end foundation, and that's just because I've used them. I've really given them tries and I don't like them. I mean, the I used the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte as my contour foundation today. So, if you can see like the little contrast of color right there, I basically took like my concealer and mapped out my face, and then I used that Pro Matte right here to like contour my cheek out. And that turned out pretty good. But I just couldn't see me wearing that stuff all over my face. But I will try it out for you guys and show you why I don't like it if you want me to. But that's everything that I use. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know down below if you have a Holy Grail foundation for oily skin that you want me to try and that you think would work good for me. And don't forget to subscribe before you leave. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.